You're a new teacher, congratulations. Or you're going into a brand new place, congratulations on that. What do you need to do to not only survive, but thrive? Because we all know the first year in a new place can be really exciting and sometimes intimidating. Let me help you. I have been in education for almost 30 years, and my entire profession has been based on training teachers. Now, that also has given me some very unique insights because I have been in a lot of districts and I have been a new person many, many times, just even as a contractor. So I acutely know what it's like to be a new person and what you need to thrive. So let's get started with our first unspoken things sometimes that you may be uncertain of. So some districts that I've been in had very clear cut, this is your contractual time to come in, this is your contractual time to leave. Now the unspoken thing that we need to talk about here is what do they expect? Sometimes what is in the contract and what they expect are not always the same. Hopefully you are in a great place where administration is clear about expectations, but that's not always the case. So here's a general rule of thumb. If you are a brand new teacher, never have taught before or just had done leave replacements and you're going in for the very first time, my suggestion is to be in your building at least a half hour before your contractual time consistently. You want to be known as the person who comes in early and stays late. And it doesn't have to be terribly late, but you don't want to be that person who is clocking in exactly at the dot and clocking out exactly at the dot. And if you feel attacked, I'm sorry, that means that you probably already have tenure. And I'm trying to help these teachers get tenure and be in a place that makes them feel good. So the reason you want to do this is to show that you're willing to put that extra step in. Now, if you are a brand new teacher who understands the depth and breadth of what you have to accomplish the first year, this is old news. You're going to be doing this anyway because quite literally the very first year of teaching is a full year of feeling like you're drowning or barely treading water. And so you need to put in all that extra time just to feel like you are staying one step ahead of your students. It's the truth. We've all been there. But that's my general rule of thumb. If you've never done this before, you want to be in at least a half hour earlier than your contractual time and at least a half hour later than your contractual time. I would suggest even later than that, but you just don't want to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs. If you have nothing to do, you're good. But chances are, if this is your first year, you will definitely be putting in some time. The next unspoken rule is you want to find out the expectation around your dress culture. Some teachers will come in to work very casual, and some of it's very warranted. Let's say if you have primary teachers, started off teaching kindergarten myself for 2 years, and man, my clothes got messed up, let me tell you. Also, you might have art teachers or PE teachers. That really dictates a different style of dress in some cases. But again, this video is for newer teachers who are new to the career. I urge you to always dress the best you can because you always are making an impression, especially while you're untenured. And there's an old adage that I learned that I truly believe in. Don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want. So therefore, if you are a TA or if you're just a leave replacement or a substitute and you are looking to get a full-time position, you need to dress the part all the time. You need to show them that you're taking this seriously and that you are a professional. Districts, especially now, are looking for somebody they can rely on, somebody who shows maturity and somebody who is going to be a positive role model for all other teachers. Now, you may hear from more senior teachers, don't worry about it, just come in casual. Oh, I don't worry about it. Well, they've got senioritis. It's basically an advanced teacher's version of what we know as high school senioritis. They're toward the end of their career, they're secure in their career, so they can be a little bit more relaxed. That is not afforded to you. So I urge you, always dress your best unless it is a dress down day, school pride day, if you're wearing your school colors or if it's color wars. You absolutely want to participate in all of those things. On the days where you don't have that, do your best to look like a professional, because that's what you want people to see you as a professional. The next thing we're going to talk about in our unspoken rules is what days and what times are sacred. Meaning, when do you need to be there at the disposal of your building, whether it's for faculty meetings or department meetings or team meetings. All of those days are really important. Now, you may have something that is written down and clearly communicates when you need to be there, which is fantastic. But in some cases, you may not. It just might be an understanding. And I've been in both situations where a district or a building had a practice that was expected, but it wasn't necessarily written down anywhere. It's really important for you to understand what those unwritten rules are regarding the times that you are expected to be there. So I would suggest that you ask a mentor if you have a mentor, or you can just, when all else fails, you can ask your AP, you can ask your principal, or you can even ask your office administrative support people, the secretaries. They know the culture of the building probably better than anybody else, and they can be a wealth of information. But you want to make sure that you know what days are really important to the building and what days you have to be there no matter what. Office hours, extra help. Now, this depends. If you're an elementary school teacher, the chances of you having to do extra help may not have the same type of expectations if you're a secondary teacher. Almost across the board, every place that I've been, all secondary teachers are expected to provide some type of extra help of some kind. I also would recommend, if you're an elementary school teacher and you have some students that are really struggling, making yourself available if you have the time, big caveat, to help somebody out would be great and would look great for you also. But I also recognize that elementary school teachers are teaching at least 5 different subjects in the span of one day, probably 1 to maybe 2 preps, possibly a lunch. Believe me, I'm being realistic here. But you need to find out what are the expectations on you helping students. Every building that I've been in has them, so you need to find out what they are. Now, for some of you who might have kids, you might have a conflict where you might not be able to stay as late as other teachers. In that situation, I've had colleagues that do their office hours during lunchtime, or they do their office hours like 1 early morning, 1 lunch, and 1 afternoon. It's really up to you, and it's up to what the culture of your building is doing. Being a new teacher, you don't want to immediately be swimming against the stream or causing ripples. But if it's something that really suits your lifestyle and it's better for you, you can ask your mentor, you can ask your administrator, and see if something like that will work out for you. All right, here's a really controversial topic: the faculty room. You need to tread carefully here. Some faculty rooms are going to be wonderful. They can be fun, they can be invigorating, they could just be a place where you can meet with your colleagues and chit chat and just have a small break from the day. That is the best situation. I have had situations where I was in a faculty room in one of my districts for a long time, and some years I had the best faculty room crew. We just had so much fun together. We would order pizzas on Friday, joke around, and it felt like a nice refresher before the second half of the day. But I've also had a contrary experience where I would walk into the faculty room and there were a few teachers that did nothing but complain about students, complain about working conditions, basically complain. And those are the ones that you want to avoid. Now, this can change depending on who shows up and who's not there, but I strongly urge you, especially as a teacher who is new to a building or new to a community or a brand new teacher, you don't want to be in a viper pit faculty room. You don't want to be in a faculty room where there are a lot of unhappy people, because they will bring down your vibe. The negativity can bring down a new teacher like that, and you don't need that right now. You need support. You need people that you can rely on, and you need people that are going to build you up. I urge you, as somebody who has made it my career to help new teachers, avoid that type of environment. It's not going to help you. And also, administration knows who the teachers are that are complaining all the time. They know who the teachers are that are underperforming all the time. Usually, these teachers are one and the same. You do not want to associate yourself with those teachers. It takes a while to figure out who those teachers are. But look for the people that have a great vibe. Look for the people that are smiling. Look for the people that enjoy what they do. Those are the people you want to gravitate towards. You want to find out how you're being evaluated with your observations, but also find out if there's something in particular that is valuable to your building. For example, the building that I'm in uses Danielson's framework, and the domain 4 about professional responsibilities, professional relationships, and things that you're doing outside the scope of your work is really important to my building. They assume that if they've hired you, you're a strong teacher. So knowing that you're a strong teacher, what can you bring to us? What can you bring to this culture? What can you do to add to the vibe of this building? That's actually really big in my particular building. So it's important to know, what is your building valuing? Some buildings really, really value classroom management, and that's a whole nother video. You always want to find out, what does the building value? What do my administrators value? What does my team value? Because you know what they're immediately looking for. You're not just walking around guessing what's important to them. So I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to ask me any questions. I literally have been training new teachers for decades, and it's something I'm extremely passionate about. This is kind of one of my kick around channels where I would just throw instructional technology. But if you find this helpful, please forward it to somebody else, especially any new teachers. Drop any questions. I'm happy to answer, and I'll see you in the next one.